Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, we did see quite a clear follow through today. Bitcoin seems to be finally falling off the cliff. Someone pushed Bitcoin off the cliff. It's not even a strong seller for Bitcoin. The altcoins are suffering, but as you know, they are just more volatile than Bitcoin. It's not an altcoin market yet. Yeah, I've been saying that many times now. Just need to repeat that time and time again. Still, more and more people are interested in altcoins than Bitcoin oftentimes, even though Bitcoin is the more stable asset that has also outperformed a lot of the altcoins this year. And therefore, I myself like to focus mainly on Bitcoin, maybe Ethereum, very careful with altcoins still, yeah. And the altcoins that are looking bearish, I always warn about. 99% of altcoins are still looking bearish. There are a few that have some potential. They are the ones that I cover. And then there are some that I cover because people want to see them, but I always warn about them, like XLM, Bitcoin Cash, for example. They're just not long-term, not positive, right, or attractive. So yeah, I just want to highlight, just be careful with altcoins. But you know, after days like these, probably I would say the next few days are going to look a little bit greener again. Yeah, after this these couple of days of sell-offs, you typically see a few days of recovery, okay? So it's not a one-way street. Bitcoin, I would still expect to go lower anyway. As we know, we are sort of in choppy waters, choppy environment at the moment. A lot of up and down. It's corrective, yeah, that the structure is deeply corrective. So what we did experience over the last few weeks was very, very boring sideways action. And you see these ups and downs where you don't normally expect them, but that is just normal corrective behavior. So it's good to see that finally to follow through here to the downside. It seems to me that we're coming down actually in an ending diagonal. Other interpretations might be possible, but I decided to, I mean, this hasn't changed anyway. A wave down, nice 3-wave move up in a B wave. We did stay below 29,990, so no need to look for a higher B wave. And it broke below 29K, so I've taken the unreliable bullish wave count anyway off the chart. So we're looking at lower, and we're heading towards the promised, I shouldn't say promised, never promise anything, but I'm looking for price to get to that 28.5K level that we discussed in the previous videos today. How did we get to that? It is the 1-to-1 ratio, which is a typical target here, yeah, around about 28,500. We're nearly there. It's a common target in such a diagonal structure. So it might even be that level or here around 28,320. So we've got that. And then if we get there and stop, then we might see a wave 4 at some point and then a wave 5 to the downside. This is sort of what I'm watching for at the moment primarily. What can always happen, and I need to warn about that. You know that I've been talking about that many times. Instead of an ABC, Bitcoin might have done a WXY structure. What does that mean? That means that we will not get this wave 4 and this wave 5. Okay, I cannot promise that because you really only know about a WXY structure afterwards. Yeah. You really only know about it when 3 waves down are complete and it does not rally in a correction, but instead it rallies in an impulse. That is absolutely what can happen. So therefore, always be ready. Bitcoin likes to do WXY structures. That's not always the case in other asset classes. I would not so much look for a WXY structure when we talk about the silver chart, the gold chart, for example, yeah. But here it is quite common in crypto. That is just the nature of this market, which makes it a little bit more risky and a little bit less predictable, okay? That's why we primarily focus on reward and risk. We're now back in the yellow support area. My minimum expectation would be for the price to go below this low. That's at 28,480. And then we should get, so eventually, and then we should get here to that either 50% fib level. We have the trend line here as well. And if we talk about Fibonacci extensions, we can take the length here of the A wave or wave W, go to the high of that B wave. And the 61.8 extension level is another level to watch. That's very, very close to the other levels I mentioned. 28,140. You need to give Bitcoin a bit of space. We're dealing with a crypto market here. And yeah, I mean, I would expect it to go a little lower. But it doesn't need to go much lower, okay? So, I mean, we're nearly there anyway. Been talking about the 50% level for weeks. Let's see if we react to it in a bullish way. That's really the main chart we need to focus on, the Bitcoin chart. The altcoin charts, they often do their own thing when Bitcoin is moving sideways, which is doing often enough. When Bitcoin is coming down, they often come down as well. But there are coins that sometimes just move opposite to Bitcoin. Yeah, they are not always related, but of course there are correlations. So just be careful with altcoins. You can see everything's red. There are a few altcoins that are green. So again, there's always the odd exception, or maybe they are old FTX charts here. Quant not doing anything again. But yeah, I mean, the levels should be clear. Expectation is currently being followed. Let's see if we get the final follow through as well. Everybody should be happy because it was so boring. Finally, we see a bit of movement. And that, again, that move down is needed to generate the buying interest again. And also, very important, again, it's not the altcoin market at the moment that many people want, but Bitcoin, Ethereum are still leading. That's generally our assessment also when we look at the Bitcoin dominance chart. Bitcoin should still make one more high on there. We've been talking about that. Yes, there is a potential for an altcoin rally at some point, but generally the larger trend is still up. And be careful with altcoins. I did say that already. What else? Yeah, and when you don't feel when you don't feel like making a trade because you feel very depressed, very negative about the chart, very bearish, then think again, okay, and just trade your plan, or just be aware that things, looking at the bigger picture, could be turning around at any time, especially if Bitcoin makes a new low here. But again, without having a 5-wave move up, we have no low. So I'm using the fib levels here to look for a low, okay? But we need to see some kind of a reaction. Now, looking at the indicators, Bitcoin still coming down for our chart, is now oversold. So again, probably in the next few days, we see a bit of an altcoin recovery. The daily RSI would still have a bit more space to come down lower. So that's going to be interesting. Yeah, that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.